on the record in the matter of Shiawassee Apartments versus Joe Brown, 24-05887. Appearance, please.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm back here for plaintiff.
Elijah Tyler, ACS 242 on behalf of the defendant.
The date set for hearing is for non-payment of rent. How are the parties proceeding today?
It's my understanding, Judge, this was on my original list. Chris Brown didn't even forward it to me. He told me that there was an adjournment that had been filed. And it's the same information I got. Here, so I have to believe that there was an adjournment stipulation to adjourn, which maybe hasn't made it to your desk yet.
Yes, Your Honor, stipulation to adjourn was filed yesterday with my file. I'm not sure if it's made it to the file.
Let's see. You're requesting an adjournment for 2 weeks
For your next available.
to resolve the matter potentially. For 2:30. That is what. Next date is in January. No, next date's in January. How likely is this to resolve? Okay. December 4th at 2:30. Have any questions today for the court? I will get your notice to appear. Any additional matters for the record? You all set on that one. On the record in the matter of Rio Vincent Apartments versus Isaiah Ryan, 24-05893.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Ronald Park here for plaintiff Rio Vincent Apartments. Called the hall for Mr. Isaiah Bryan. You got no response. At this point, I requested default judgment, Your Honor.
Default, get it.
Terms on. This time, a little surprised he's not here because the rent to retain is only $319.41, $180.08, and costs for total to retain $499.49. Got 11/25 as a writ date as well as the appeal date. May I approach?
Yes. Just sit right there. Okay, any additional matters on this file?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, on the record in the matter of Lansing 74 versus Jada George and Norma Giles, 24-05909. Council appearance.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Ronald Park here for plaintiff Lansing 74.
What's your name, ma'am? Your name?
Norma Giles.
Okay, so today was the date set for hearing. This is for non-payment of rent. How we proceeding, council?
Yes, Your Honor, we agreed to a consent order for conditional dismissal. Ms. Jada George is a tenant, Ms. Norma Giles was a co-signer, but that lease has now expired. So what we put here is, at this point, the rent to retain is $5,550 through 11/30, 220 and 48 cents in cost. The total amount to retain $5,770.48. We got into further conditions that defendant Jada George shall pay $500 a week starting this Friday, 11/15/24, until the balance is zero and current, inclusive of rent that accrues during the pendency of this payment plan. And that defendant Norma Giles is dismissed without condition She does not occupy the property. Thank you, Judge.
Is that how you want to proceed, ma'am? I can't hear head nods on the record. Sorry? Okay, so you are entering a conditional dismissal whereby you agree the past due rent to retain possession of the area of 5510 King North Apartment 23, City of Lansing is $5,550 plus court costs, $220.48 for a total amount to $5,770.48. That's for rent due and owing through November 30th, 2024, that you shall pay $500 per week, starting 11/15/2024 until the balance is zero and current, inclusive of paying the rent that accrues during the pendency of these payments. Defendant Norma Giles, ma'am, you are dismissed without condition as you do not occupy the property. You understand that? Okay, you understand that you have rights that you could assert and without having to do this, including your right to be represented by an attorney. You understand that you had a right to have an attorney represent you?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to give that right up? You want an attorney to represent you?
No.
Okay. I understand that this is your grandmother?
Yeah.
I understand your grandmother said no, but it's not, she can't
It's
give up
not
the
my
right.
choice.
She can't give it up. You've got to decide if you want to have an attorney represent you or not today. Okay, well then say it with confidence, ma'am.
No.
Okay, you have the right to have a trial. You could have had a jury trial in this matter if you wanted to pursue it to jury trial. Did you want to waive your right to trial in this matter so that you can have this conditional dismissal entered? Anybody threatening you to do this? Any promises being made to you to get you to proceed in this manner? Okay, you have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood the rights that we just went over, you can return to the court and have this agreement set aside. You would have to file a motion to set aside this agreement and then explain how you misunderstood your rights, okay? Is this your signature? Partial performance will not satisfy this. That means that you have to do everything that you said that you were going to do in this section. Pay your rent as it accrues and pay the $500 that you were supposed to be paying per week. You understand that? Do you have any questions? A copy of this in just a moment. Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. You're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Somebody behind the computer. Oh, this was back here. On the record in the matter of Baltic Flats versus Jamie Zamaron, 24-05076, council appearance.
Thank you, I understand too, I'm here on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your name, ma'am?
Jamie Zamaron.
Okay, today is the date that's scheduled for hearing, and this is for an eviction for non-payment of rent. Mr. Dewar, did you all work out a resolution?
I did, Your Honor. I have a proposed consent order for conditional dismissal for your review, if I may approach.
Put the terms on the record first.
You got it. Thank you, Your Honor. In this case, past due rent through November 30th, 2024 is $3,789.16. Cost of $179.05. Total $3,968.21. Box 2 is marked with a payment date of November 25th, 2024. Additionally, box 4B is marked, saying that this case will proceed without further notice if it's in default. And box 7 is marked saying partial payment will not satisfy this agreement and would push forward towards a default. Both parties have signed. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, that's how you want to proceed? Okay, you understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney at today's hearing? Do you want to waive your right to an attorney representing you today? You also had the right to proceed to a trial. You could have demanded a jury trial on this. Did you want to waive your right to trial and proceed with the conditional dismissal? Okay, so you're agreeing to have conditional dismissal entered today whereby you owe the past due rent in the amount of $3,789.16 plus court costs $179.05 for a total amount due of $3,968.21. That is for the rent due through the period of November 30th, 2024, correct? That you'll pay that amount or vacate the property no later than November 25th, 2024, correct? Correct. You understand that partial performance will not satisfy this. You gotta pay that amount in full or vacate the property by the 25th. You understand that? You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood the rights that you waived, you can return to the court, request to have that set aside, okay? Do you have, no problem. Do you have any questions for the court? Any additional matters for the record, Mr. Dula?
Nothing further, thank you.
You're all set, ma'am. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, no, it was worse yesterday, but. Okay, let's see.
Out of this.
Hmm?
That was me that walked out. Maybe.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I got it. No, I thought I thought he chatted earlier.
Oh, he did.
Did someone respond to him? I didn't see it. Not responsive. Which matter are you here on? Oh, we're just waiting for Mr. Hoffman. Mr. Alcala, can you hear me? Why is someone's Zoom number logging into my phone?
That's your Zoom number.
That's what I thought. Excuse me? Mr. Alcala, can you hear me? Right. Okay. Let's see what's going on if I admit myself.
That's weird.
Sir, why is your name my Zoom ID number?
I don't know. I was just given the ID to type
Okay,
in. And I did.
thank you. Okay, no worries. We'll rename you. What's your name?
David Alkalach.
Okay, Mr. Alcalach, did you contact the court yesterday for permission to
Yes.
appear via Zoom? Okay, and I think you sent an email like indicating that you live in Grand Rapids?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you vacated the property when?
Excuse me.
When did you vacate the property in Lansing?
October 4th.
So, and you're the other tenant, Ms. Quinn? Okay. I don't know how this is supposed to work. Are you all living together in Grand Rapids?
No.
No, you're still living in the property. He moved out. Okay. All right. So you're gonna have to, I guess, meet with them separately.
I'll meet with this one person and maybe I can dismiss.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Mr. Rogers, are you doing something on my screen? I have to put him in the waiting room. I don't understand why it's even allowing him to do that.
Hello?
Mr. Alcalá, we're in recess at the moment. Be right back.
Okay.
We're still waiting for Mr. Anthony. I mean, on the record, in the matter from Rogers versus Tiffany Nguyen, 24-06187. Please state your name for the record, sir.
Rome Rogers.
You can come to the table, ma'am. Okay, can you state your name, please?
Tiffany Nguyen.
Tiffany Nguyen. Okay, let's see. Today was the date set for a hearing. This is for termination. No, let me see here. This is for non-payment of rent. And I don't believe that the parties met prior to today, unless I'm wrong. Did you all have any discussions about potential resolution, or do you believe that's worthwhile?
No,
No, ma'am.
Mr. Rogers, are you looking to have some discussions about potentially resolving this, or you want to move forward with your hearing?
Move forward with the hearing, ma'am.
Okay, so today you were suing for non-payment of rent. You have a lease agreement with Ms. Nguyen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and when did you enter into that lease?
In 2023, I believe of February of last year. Her lease is currently up. It's month to month right now. I gave her a 30-day notice in order to release the property because she wasn't paying rent. And
Okay, so let me stop you a minute because you're going a little too fast for me. So there was a 1-year lease?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it expired in February this year?
Yes, ma'am.
When's the last time she paid rent?
It was in last paid. One second, I'm just looking through. She last paid on March the 3rd of 2023. She paid $205.
March 3rd of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
How much is her monthly rent?
Her monthly rent is Section 8 pays $954, and she's only supposed to pay $44 a month.
900 and, how much does Section 8 pay?
$954.
Okay, and her payment is what?
$44.
Okay, why was her lease not renewed?
It was month to month because I didn't want to continue the lease. I usually just leave it month to month until it ends, until either the tenant could leave or nothing. I just leave it month to month so then I can give them an option. But as she started not to pay, I told her that I would like to end the lease and have her move after the month to month, but she still didn't want to move. I brought that up to her Section 8 counselor too, that I would like for her to move without the eviction process, but she still didn't want to move after eviction process, and she never continued to pay, so she didn't pay at all.
Okay.
So
her last payment you said was March 2023. She paid how much?
$205, and the reason she paid.
Does that mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why did she pay 205?
Okay, so her originally Section 8 was not paying $900 and some dollars. They were only paying $700. Because of my due diligence, I told her that her Section 8 should have been raised because they were accounting for her child's disability payment. So afterwards, after her child disability payment was removed from there, Section 8 was raised. Then I then after that said okay and accepted the 205, reduced her payment down to $44 a month, and that's how she wound up paying 44 versus 205 a month, ma'am.
How much does her lease say her rent's supposed to be per month?
$1,000. Section 8 pays $944. She paid a rent.
I understand that part. I'm trying to see how much the rent is. Okay. Okay, so you said she has not made a payment. She was supposed, since March 2023, she was supposed to be paying $44 each month.
That's correct, ma'am.
So what's the amount past due that you're alleging?
The amount past due currently, because of her late fees being racked up, is according to my door loop application, which she never logged in to use, was $3,232. And
How much?
that includes her for the 205 from the state that gave me a compliance issue because of trash, and what else? And that one, and
Okay, let me stop you.
yes,
Let me
ma'am.
stop you. So she doesn't owe 3,232 for.
Yes, she
rent.
does. That's her
No,
ongoing.
no, don't cut me off,
Yes, okay.
because you need to hear my whole statement.
Okay.
She doesn't owe 3,232 in rent. You're saying she owes that past due rent plus some other fees, is what you're saying.
Oh,
Correct?
if it's just rent, it's rent plus late
No, I'm
fees.
trying to get clarification. All you need to do is answer my questions. The problem is you're trying to tell me what you want to tell me. I'm trying to get certain pieces of information so that
Okay.
I can have clarity as to what's going on. So
Okay.
I'm not saying to you that she doesn't owe you that you don't believe she owes you $3,232. I'm trying to find out how much of this is rent, how much is late fees, how much is fees from code compliance. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. It's $44 a month.
Okay, so $44 a month, and how much does she owe you in past due rent in total?
I would have to calculate that. So, 1,682 bullets, I believe. 1 minute.
1,600 and how much?
82. I'm trying to make sure. One minute. Because it might not be that much. I do put late fees on there. I hadn't broken that into different brackets. So 1 minute. I gotta see how many months there's 23 March. So that's 7, 9 in itself. 1 minute. That's 9 again. 1 minute, man. 1 second.
My records would calculate that she hasn't paid any of her portion according to your statements for 20 months. Are you disputing that amount?
No, I am not. That is correct, ma'am.
Okay, 20 times 44 is 880, plus how much is your late fee?
$50, ma'am.
So in past due rent and late fees, I have $1,880. And then you said there were some citations for trash or debris.
Yes, ma'am.
From both
$215.
clients.
Yes, ma'am. $215.
For what date?
That was for that was on October the 23rd of 2024, ma'am.
Recently.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And let's see. What are the other fees that she owes?
The other fees were because of because of the plumbing. The plumbing was messed up twice. It cost me $422 per incident.
Okay, yeah, it got a little bit muffled on your end. I don't know what happened to the sound.
I'm sorry, man.
You said
Uh,
the plumbing got a little messed up. How did it get messed up?
she was putting feminine products into the toilet, which clogged up the plumbing pipes. And I called out Roto-Rooter to come fix that. It was $422 per incident. And then afterwards, it was $1,000 for the cleanup of the sewage within the basement twice. So 2 times, and she would deny that's
She was-
happening. Oh, yes, ma'am.
So she was advised, of course, not to put feminine products into.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when was it that Roto-Rooter had to come out?
Roto-Rooter came out on 2/1 of 2024. That's
And
the
when
first
was
time.
the other time?
And the second time was pop up. Time was in November of last year. It was 2/1 of 2000. Okay, that's one time, and the other time was on two. Other time was on 11/14. It was the 11/14/2023, ma'am.
11/4/2023. Do you have receipts from
Yes, I do.
Roto-Rooter coming out and where they indicate the issue?
Let's see. I'm looking at the thing.
Are you able to send those receipts? Because I'm going to give you opportunity to do that while I call some other cases real quick.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, if you are you able to forward them at all?
I can put them on the whiteboard if you would like to view them. And I can also share my screen if you would like, but I can put them on the whiteboard. If
so you have them. You have a copy of them, correct?
I have a copy
Okay.
currently right now that I can show.
I'll allow you to share your screen. I want to see those receipts.
Try to get here.
I'm gonna give you an opportunity to work on that. I'm gonna call the next case while you figure that out, okay? Because it's got the whiteboard up and not screen share.
Yeah.
And also, if it's easier for you to send a picture of that, I can have my assistant send you her email and you can email them to her.
Yes, please, ma'am. Thank you.
Can you message him your email, please? Okay, off the record, you can have a seat for just now, okay? Mr. Alkaniki.
Yes, sir.
You're here. Did you ever speak to Mr. Was it Alka?
I'm gonna dismiss it. Yeah.
Okay, let me call the case. On the record in the matter of Michigan Home Rehab versus Camilla Quinn and David Alkalech, 24-06079. Appearance for the record, counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Robert Ockeneke, attorney for the plaintiff.
Okay, and then I have Miss Camilla Quinn present in the courtroom. David Alkalech is present via Zoom with permission of the court. And he did send an email to the court seeking that permission, advising that he lives in Grand Rapids and I think started a new job. The plaintiff is going to move to dismiss him based on the information that you learned.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so your matter is dismissed, Mr. Alkalech. You're all set.
Okay.
You're free to go. How are we proceeding on Ms. Quinn?
As for Ms. Quinn, Your Honor, she owes $2,600 in rent, $220 in court costs for a total of $2,820. She's gonna pay $500 on the 15th of December and do that and continue to pay that every 2 weeks until that balance is paid in full. She's also gonna pay her monthly rent as it becomes due. Check box 4B if the action may proceed without further notice to the defendant, and that partial payment by defendant will not prevent the court from issuing an order of eviction.
That's how you want to proceed, ma'am? Okay, you understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney in your eviction proceeding? You want to waive your right to be represented by an attorney? You also understand that you had the right to proceed to trial. You could have demanded a jury trial. You want to give up your right to trial?
Yes.
Okay, so you want the conditional dismissal to enter today whereby you agree to pay the past due rent, $2,600 plus court cost, $220 for a grand total of $2,820. That's for rent accruing through the 30th of this month. Make sure you'll pay $500 on the 15th of December. Continue every 2 weeks, you'll pay $500 until the past due balance is paid in full, and you'll continue to pay your monthly rent as it becomes due. Is that correct? Partial performance will not satisfy this. You must do completely what you said you'll do here. Make the payments when you say you'll make them. Otherwise, they can request to have judgment enter against you, and they don't have to notice you for a court date. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood the rights that I just advised you of, you can return to the court and request to have this agreement set aside. We'll set it for a hearing for you to explain how you misunderstood your rights. Do you have any questions for the court? We'll get you a copy of that paperwork in just a moment. Any additional matters on this file?
Not on this file, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, ma'am. You're on the record. Which matter do you have? In the matter of Dewar Real Estate versus Rodney Campos, 24-05773, appearance please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, Robert Dockman, the attorney for the plaintiff.
And the line title, PA 6242 on behalf of the defendant.
Okay, and the defendant is present in person with counsel. Today was the date set for a eviction for termination of tenancy. Was there an agreement today?
Yes, Your Honor, we did come to an agreement.
What's the terms?
We agreed that the defendant agrees to vacate the property located at 408 South Washington Square, Lansing, Michigan, either on or before December 15th, 2024.
This conditional dismissal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Campos, do you understand that you have the right to proceed to trial in this matter? Do you want to waive your right to trial? Anybody threatening you to do that?
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may. Okay, so you're agreeing to vacate the property of 408 South Washington Square on or before December 15th. That means you're turning over the key before that, on or before that date. You understand that? Partial performance will not satisfy this, so if you don't vacate by that date, turn over the key and make sure that the property is in broom swept condition. You can't leave your trash and stuff behind for them to remove. They do have the right, if you don't do that, to have judgment enter against you, and they don't have to notice you for a new court date. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions for the court? You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood the rights you just gave up, you can return to the court, request to have this set aside and explain how you misunderstood your rights, okay? We'll get you a copy in just a moment, sir. Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're all set, thank you. On the record, in the matter of Michigan Home Rehab versus Latasha Robertson, 24-06077.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, Robert Dockman, the attorney for the plaintiff.
Your name, ma'am? Okay, Ms. Robertson, today was the date that was set for hearing. This is for non-payment of rent. Did the parties come to a resolution?
We did, Your Honor. Ms. Robertson currently owes $2,471 in rent, $220 in court costs, for a total of $2,691. Ms. Robertson's gonna pay $1,800 on or before November 25th. And she's gonna pay December rent on December 15th and January rent on January 5th, and the remaining $891 on or before January 15th. And I've checked the box that this could proceed without further notice if she misses these payments, and the partial payment will not prevent the court from issuing an order of eviction.
Thank you. And that's how you want to proceed today, ma'am? You understand that you did have the right to have an attorney represent you at today's court date? Do you want to waive that right to an attorney today? You also have the right to proceed to trial. You could have demanded a jury trial. Did you want to waive your right to a trial in this matter?
Yes.
So conditional dismissal will enter today, whereby you agree the past due rent is $2,471 plus court costs $220 for a grand total, $2,691, and that's for rent due to the period of November 30th of this month, this year that is, and you'll pay $1,800 no later than the 25th of this month. And then your December rent will be paid on the 15th of December, January rent to be paid on the 5th
Yes.
of December, and then you'll pay $891 on or before January 15th, 2025, correct? Partial performance will not satisfy this. You must comply completely with this section here as to what you said you're gonna do, how much you're gonna pay, when you're gonna make those payments. If you don't, the plaintiff has the right to request to have judgment enter against you, and they do not have to notice you for a new court date. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions for the court? Okay, again, you have 3 business days to return to the court if you've misunderstood any of your rights. We'll get you a copy of that and you'll be all set, okay? Thank you. Did you meet with Cole yet? On the record in the matter of BWW Management versus Samari Cole 24-06080, counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Robert Rocknick, attorney for the plaintiff.
Okay, and Ms. Samari Cole is present in the courtroom. This is a hearing for non-payment of rent. Did you come to resolve this matter at all?
Your Honor, Ms. Cole raised some issues regarding maintenance that I'd like to look into a little further. The court could potentially set this out for a couple of weeks. We would like to time to discuss further.
January 8th at 1:30.
January 8th at 1:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
To get you a notice to appear. Do you have any questions today? Okay, any additional matters for today's record?
No, no, thank you.
You're all set, ma'am. On the record in the matter of Baltic Flats versus Pamela Wormis, 24-06165, counsel appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sam Dua here on behalf of the defendant.
Is Pamela Wormis here?
Thank you, Your Honor. May I approach?
Yes. On the record in the matter of Venture Flats versus Erica Montgomery, 24-06169. Appearance, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sam Dua here on behalf of the plaintiff.
State your name, please, ma'am. Okay, today's the date that's set for hearing, and this is for non-payment of rent. Did you all come to an agreement on this?
Yes, Your Honor. I have in front of me a proposed conditional dismissal signed by both parties. Conditional dismissal states that a total of $3,392.50, which is comprised of $3,213.45 in rent, $179.05 in cost, will be paid on or before November 25th, 2024, to prevent default of this agreement. That is rent due and owing through the end of November 2024. Box 4B is checked, which provides for the default of this agreement to enter without further notice of the defendant. And box 7 is checked, which says that partial payment will not prevent a default of this agreement. Again, it is signed by both parties. May I approach?
You may.
Thank you.
And Ms. Montgomery, that's accurate as to how you want to proceed today?
Yes.
Okay, so you do understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney today?
Yes.
Did you want to waive your right to be represented by an attorney? To represent yourself? Okay. And you also have the right in this matter to proceed to trial. You could have demanded a jury trial. Did you want to waive your right to a trial in this matter?
Yeah.
You want the matter to be dismissed today upon the condition that you pay past due rent, $3,392.50. That's rent plus court costs, and that you will pay that or vacate the property no later than November 20. You have a question?
Yeah, I was just asking him, are you aware that 1,200 is on its way?
You said what?
1,200 is on its way.
Of that total, Your Honor, she's been working with one of the agencies and we have reason to believe that 1,200 is on its way, but it's
You
not
have a
here.
promise to pay?
I don't think she does, Your Honor. The check was literally delivered to the wrong address and I believe it's on its way, but that's.
Oh, well, then she had a promise to pay. They're paying, you have, what agency?
Evan House.
Can you update this, please, to include that information?
Just in the further order, Sharon?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
$1,200 is on its way from Avon House?
Yes,
Okay.
it was already mailed, but it was mailed to a different address. My apologies, Your Honor.
Oh, you're
I
fine.
just want to make sure that was
It
noted.
should be on there.
I was gonna put it verbally.
No worries.
So I just updated box 3 to say $1,200 is being paid by Advent House on behalf of the defendant.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay. So again, I think I was going over the agreement, and that is for you to pay the past due rent, $3,392.50, which includes the past due amount plus court costs, correct?
Correct.
And that we now understand $1,200 is promised to be paid by Advent House. So that'll still leave you a balance. You understand that?
Yes.
That you're agreeing to pay the full amount or vacate the property at 1153 Dorchester Circle 203 no later than the 25th of this month. You understand that?
Correct.
Partial performance will not satisfy this agreement, so you must pay the full amount or vacate the property no later than the 25th of this month. Otherwise, the plaintiff can seek to have a judgment entered against you without noticing you of a next court date. Do you understand that?
Correct.
Do you have any questions for the court? You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood the rights that you gave up today, you can return to the court, request to have this set aside and explain how you misunderstood your rights, okay?
Okay.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're all set. Clayton Dawson present?
I have not met with Mr. Dawson yet, Your Honor.
You can change it. In case anything is, yeah.
I do have Miss Preston ready.
You say you have not seen Clayton Dawson?
I believe he's in the hallway.
Okay, Preston. Okay, on the record in the matter of Carolina Flats versus Shiree Preston, 24-06171, appearance. Please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sam Dua here on behalf of the plaintiff.
State your name for the record, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Preston, this is an eviction hearing for termination of tenancy. Mr. Dewar, did you all resolve this?
Yes, Your Honor. I have in front of me a proposed conditional dismissal signed by both parties. It simply states defendant to vacate the premises by November 30th, 2024, removing all personal property, trash, debris, and turn in keys. Box 4B is checked and 7 is non-applicable. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's how you want to proceed today, ma'am? Understand that you did have the right to have an attorney represent you at today's hearing. You want to waive that right? You also have the right to proceed to a trial. You could have demanded a jury trial. You understand that? You want to give up your right to trial? Anybody threatening you to get you to give these rights up? You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood those rights, you can return and request to have this set aside and explain how you misunderstood your rights. Otherwise, you're agreeing to vacate the premises of 2402 Rysdale, City of Lansing, Ingham County, no later than the 30th of this month, removing all of your personal property, trash, and debris, and turning in the keys by that day. You understand? If you have any questions for the court, we'll give you a copy of that in just a moment, and you'll be all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Devon Dawson here at all?
That one I have not seen, but I will check the hallway right
Okay,
now.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, back on the record. In the matter of Rogers versus Gwen. Did you get an email from him?
I'm sorry.
Did you get an email from him? So Rogers, did you send him your email address?
I got kicked out of the.
Yes. Okay, I received your email. Sir, this is the debris that you claim you were cited for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there gonna be something on here? Oh, wait, this must be Roto-Rooter, is that what this is?
Yes, ma'am. $422.50. It was 2 events. I couldn't find the other one. I tried to send them both, but I only saw that one there. So.
Is this a address 611 North Pine Street?
Yes, ma'am.
I lived at 612 North Pine Street when I was in law school. Okay. It says clearly there what the issue was, $422.50. And you said you only had one receipt?
I only saw that one receipt right there. I thought I sent 2, but I only saw that one. It happened twice, and I couldn't find this is what the basement looked like. I had to get it cleaned up. It cost me an extra, I think like $800 or more in order for me to have the basement cleaned. That's
And that was as a result of the issue from that Roto-Rooter had to come out for?
Yes, ma'am.
You said it cost how much to clean up?
I want to say it cost like $1,000, but I'll set it like 800 or something like that, because I'm not sure how much that lady charged me. I know it was between $800 and $1,000. So.
Okay, so you paid someone, but you don't know how much you paid?
I'll have to look for the receipt.
Okay, is this the notice from the city, or no, this is the notice to quit, it looks like?
Yes, ma'am. And that's my front door. As you can see, she's got the knobs and stuff. She's damaging the property. She goes along. She's got daisy chained cameras up through the whole house like that. And she runs a generator in order to keep her electric on. And it's causing noise violations and stuff like that. And the neighbor upstairs is having a problem. That's
What am
the
I
front
looking
door.
at here?
Say again, ma'am?
What am I looking at here?
You're looking at when I had to repair the baseboard of the tub, and I also had to repair that back door. That's how the back door used to look. Um, and you notice on page, like I believe it's like page 2 or 3, when Section 8 is telling me to fix items. If you go all the way up, keep going. You will notice this right there. Section 8 is talking about me fixing the items. It looks like a grid of boxes. So if you go down one more page right here. So go down a little bit further, and you'll see that grid of boxes. This is my inspection of things I had to fix for Section 8. And you'll notice in box number 2, the entry door component, those were brand new doors that I put on there, but they all had to be replaced. I'm not charging her for that because as I went along, things were just damaged throughout the whole house. So I couldn't get inside of the house because Mrs. Wynn won't let me take pictures because she has 3 dogs, and I can't get entry in order to see the inside of the house, and she changed the locks. So there's damage all throughout the house. I just can't get in there to see or record it. I should say take pictures of it because I've seen the damage that was done, but I haven't been able to take pictures or let anybody in the house in order to just survey it or anything because of her dogs and her timing and her not allowing me to come in the house. That would be her. If you're looking at that right there, that's her Cash App. She says that's the only way she pays me. And as you see, the last time she paid me was in March 3rd of 2023.
Okay, let's see. What is that?
That's the basement. That's what they cleaned up from the basement when they were talking about how the pipes were all plugged up. And it was all feminine products. It wasn't anything other than that. Miss Wynn said she didn't do it originally, but I didn't have a tenant upstairs, and I never had a plumbing issue until she moved in. And the tenant upstairs there was no tenant upstairs. So when it plugged up, she told me that she didn't do it, but she was the only tenant in that building, and I never had plumbing issues prior to.
Okay. And once again, you don't know what you paid to clean up this area?
I want to say it was $1,000. Even
did you bill her for this amount of money?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I'm just trying to understand, is this the first that she's hearing that she was supposed to pay this?
No. Probably,
Oh.
yes. Yeah. Because she denied it the first couple of times, and I was like,
okay. Okay, sounds good. Anything else you want to add, sir?
I just want the building back empty. And that was my main thing. I told her that before we went through Section 8, and Section 8 was going to let her off and tell her the only thing she had to do was move, but she didn't want to move. And I kept telling her that, I'll go this whole route, but I really just wanted her out of the building and emptied.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, and I don't know if you realize, you filed for non-payment of rent. You did not file termination of tenancy. So
yes, ma'am.
We only are addressing the non-payment of rent today. So he's alleging, Ms. Wynn, that you failed to pay your rent. And are you disagreeing that you failed to pay your rent?
Absolutely. Per his filing paperwork through this court, Your Honor, I'm up to date on my rent until 5/19 of 2024. Also, I have my mission paperwork that stipulates that
5/19/2024 is passed, ma'am.
Right. No, I know, Your Honor, but he said
this is let me slow you down. This is a complaint for non-payment of rent.
Right. So he filed that I'm up to date on my rent until 5/24, I believe, of 2024 or 5/27.
No, he said that in the notice to quit that you owe $1,662.
But it says payment up to date until a specific date on there.
This is what this notice to quit, the start the eviction is what you're basing your.
No. I was trying to explain.
I'm very clear on how notice to quits work.
Right.
This is a complaint saying that you didn't pay your rent, and it says that rent total rent now due, this was back in July of 2024, is $1,662.
Right,
Other money due for destruction of property, $2,000.
correct.
But you want me to just pay attention to section C?
No, I've been.
This is your exhibits that you want me to look at?
No, I just wanted you to understand what I was trying to get to.
I want to know your lawful defense. Either you're gonna tell me, no, he's mistaken, I paid the rent, I didn't owe that, section 8 did, or you're gonna give me a lawful defense to why you didn't pay the rent. That's what we're doing
Section
today.
8 had done numerous inspections, okay, and they have rules and regulations. Per their rules and regulations, after he is abated on an abatement, I am no longer responsible for the rent, neither is Mishta, covering the fact that unless he passes the inspection. Here's
So
all of
he
his.
failed an inspection?
He failed
Is
several.
that different from what you just
So,
passed me?
yes, this has failed several, Your Honor.
Wait, which one? You passing me a whole stack of papers?
So he
The
failed.
first one that says Mishta,
Okay.
the one in your left hand. What's that?
619 was the first fail.
What is the, no. I want to know what is in the staple documents. What's those?
Those are all his failed inspections.
Okay, pass me that
With the
first.
actual,
The
fails
whole
behind it.
packet. It's one, it's a
No,
whole.
that's several. That's
Yeah, the whole
every month of missing
the whole packet of
inspections,
them.
plus the 2 pages back there as well.
That is what he.
Yep,
put on
those are the
thing. So
fails
you can
of
have
his.
that back.
No,
Okay, so
the
this
failed
is
inspection.
this is from July 2024.
Yes,
September 2024, August 2024, July 2024,
you failed.
August 2024, August 2024, July 2024. These were all after you filed an eviction. You can give her those back. None of these are telling me why you didn't pay your rent before you filed this eviction. All of it,
Everything was covered before that. Per section 8, I
everything,
would've-
show me where section 8 said you don't have to pay anything, they're paying the full $1,000.
what do you mean?
You said everything was covered
Everything
before.
was covered up to that date.
Covered by who?
It speculates in the notice to quit, Your Honor. It says.
No, it does not. It says that you owed
Okay.
past due rent at that time.
Yes, no, not at that time.
Yes, and that's what it says on the notice to quit. It says you owed $1,660.
Okay, so if you look at this,
I'm not looking at the notice to quit. Show me where you paid your portion of the rent or that you didn't owe rent.
section 8 would have kicked me off of my section 8 if I would have not paid.
That's not how it works. Section 8 doesn't kick you off just because you didn't pay. They'll kick you off if you get evicted though.
You're right, Your Honor.
I know, I was raised on section 8. I know exactly how it works.
All I was trying to say is, as of his statement that he wrote on here, and I believe you have one of the, it says, Vince speculates, I did not.
I don't want to hear anything about this notice to quit and complain anymore. Show me proof that either section 8 pays the entire amount of rent at each month, your rent is $1,000, or you show me proof where you already paid it and he's miscalculating, or you show me proof where you didn't have to pay it because you had a lawful reason to withhold your portion of the rent.
Right,
And it's not coming from that notice to quit or complaint that he filed against you.
I understand that. It's her, me sending in all of the money that I sent him.
When
My
did you send them?
My rent has been a total of $44 since the moment I moved in there.
Okay,
Here is my $44 a month statement from Mishta with all of my amounts owed. My income has not changed since I've been on section 8. Here's the 2023 statement stipulating that they pay 1,000 and I pay 44 or 956, excuse me.
okay. So it does say that you paid 44.
Yeah,
Where is the one prior to that?
what do you mean?
Where it tells you that what you were paying in February, because you moved in
I
there,
moved in.
I'm sorry, in March of 2023.
In May
correct?
of 2023.
Okay, not March?
No, Your Honor. And then, here's been my income.
Well, I don't want to see your income. I want to see where you moved in
I did,
May and they said what your rent was.
Everything is probably via email. I can bring it up for you, Your Honor. I don't have that paper in front of me on that one specifically, but I do have one in the email. I do apologize. However, while we're getting there, so I have had a cross connection. There is 2 units inside that building. Okay, Your Honor. There is a woman and her teenage daughter that live upstairs. We
Okay.
have in share 1 sewer line, okay, that goes in and out of that building. Okay, so there's 1 sewer line. Michigan Plumbing originally came into my unit when I first moved in. The very first night that I moved in, we had a backup in the shower and on the toilet. I immediately emailed Mr. Rogers informing him of the backup that was going on.
Was when
My
you first
first
moved in?
night, yes, I couldn't
Yeah.
take a shower the
You have
first night.
proof of the email.
Yes, I do. Sorry, Your Honor,
No problem. I don't know why you're apologizing.
because I should have had it. Should have had it right.
While you do that, I just have some follow-up questions for Mr. Rogers. Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Rogers, I see the statements that you, I think this is the Cash App history. And I
Yes,
see
ma'am.
where she was paying $44, and then I see the 205. It says rent for May.
Yes, ma'am. Originally, she was supposed to be paying a higher amount. And that was the amount that she was supposed to continue to pay up until, she had paid me back from when Section 8 wasn't paying that lower, paying the full or close to the full portion of her rent. Section 8
What, do
only
you
paying
have
like,
paperwork? Do you have some paperwork that shows me where she was supposed to be paying more?
yes, ma'am. My doctor.
Okay, can you send that to the same email?
Yes, ma'am.
In between that, Mr. Crenshaw, are you ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
We have Dr. Butler present. Yes, sir, Mr. Rogers.
Can you ask her who her counselor is again for Section 8?
I don't have a worker for Section 8. Becca doesn't have workers or individual workers. He would know that.
Yeah, I don't know that she has an individual
Okay.
counselor for Section 8.
No problem, ma'am. I'll still get
I
it.
don't.
I think it varies. I'll go off the record while you find that paperwork, and you're finding an email for me?
Yes, I am, Your
Okay, you
Honor.
can have a seat right there.
Thank you.
No, right here. Mr. Crenshaw, you can come up. Off the record in that matter. We're now on the record in the matter of Quest IRA Inc. versus Donald Butler, 24-06184. Are you Mr. Butler?
Yes.
You come forward, sir. State your name for the record, counsel.
Louis UG Crenshaw, 425.
Okay, and sir, what's your name?
Donald Butler.
Oh, Mr. Butler, today was the date set for hearing. This is for non-payment of rent. How are we proceeding?
Yes, Mr. Butler and I have come to an agreement, and we have signed a consent judgment that I can submit to the court.
Just be put the terms on the record, please. Oh, that's fine. You can pass. Can you get that from him, please? It's already signed, correct? Okay. Okay, so you are entering judgment by consent. That's how you want to proceed?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you want judgment to enter where you agree the past due rent to retain possession is owed $5,284.92 plus $55 in court costs? But why are you looking for the amounts? Okay. Do you see the amount there? It's saying the rent to retain is due $5,284.92. Do you agree to that amount?
Yeah.
Okay, and $55 in costs is due?
Yeah.
And for a total past due amount, $5,339.92. You're not disputing that? And that you want judgment to enter for that amount, and that you'll agree to pay that amount in full or vacate the property no later than November 30th, 2024, correct?
Right.
Do you sign this document? You understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney today?
Yes.
Do you want to waive your right to be represented by an attorney?
I can't afford one.
I didn't ask you that. You would have to articulate clearly on the record that you were waiving your right to represent yourself or you're not waiving your right. So those are your options.
I'll waive my right.
Okay, you have the right to proceed to trial, and you could demand a jury trial in this matter. Do you want to waive your right to trial to enter into this consent judgment?
Yep.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, you have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood those rights, you can return back to the court and request to have this set aside, okay? I'm also altering the appeal date on there because it's a Saturday.
Oh, very well.
And put that for the 25th as your appeal date. Okay. I'll get you a copy of this. Do you have any questions? Okay, you're all set. Thank you. Do you have Charles King and Gary Horton present? On the record in the matter of Quest IRA versus Charles King and Gary Horton, 24-06185. Here's for the record.
Yes, Louis Eugene Crenshaw on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
Charles.
Your name, ma'am? Okay, today was the date set for hearing. This is for non-payment of rent. Did you all resolve this matter?
Your Honor, I would request an adjournment. The defendants have had a difficult time making contact with MD. MDH. What is it?
Mishta?
Yeah, Mishta. Yeah, but as of today, they finally had a breakthrough and she returned the call. So
Okay.
I think it would be best for the defendants. I frankly have no interest in terminating their tenancy as long as we can get this matter taken care of.
Okay, so you are seeking assistance with Mishta? I'm sorry?
I'm Mr. Not, it's through my caseworker. She called me today. I've been trying to get on.
What is FIA?
Primary Food Services.
Oh, okay. DHHS. Okay. IOB service. January 8th at 1:30. January 8th at 1:30.
Very well. Anyway,
You have a question for the court, ma'am? Sir, we'll get you a copy of the notice for that date, time, hopefully, which you should by then have had any assistance from Mr. Taken care of by then. And so if the matter is paid in full, he can dismiss it before then, okay?
Yes.
You have any questions? You're all set. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The
Mr.
recording
Dewar?
is stopping. Just stop saying that was aborted.
Yeah, my thing keeps moving me out. The recording is messed up.
CD for Dawson and a default for Dawson.
You can give me the default. I can't go on the record right now.
Oh, wonderful.
She fixed that.
No problem. FIA is the Family Independence Agency, is the name, 2 names ago of MDHHS.
Got it.
For fear of dating myself, but yes.
You definitely just did that.
I think the P number does it on its own, so it's
Okay, default. There's that, that's for DOS. Won't let you restart it.
Have to clear storage.
Oh. She's got to clear storage, something's off. You gotta go take care of something.
That's okay. Thank you. Do you want me to leave the CD here just in case, or? Well, you need it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll wait till you come out.
Sounds good.
I'm sorry? It's working. Okay, sounds good. Okay, back on the record, Mr. Rogers versus Ms. Ian. You were supposed to find an email for me.
Your Honor, unfortunately, I don't have it on my phone. My other phone was destroyed. I
Okay,
dropped it and it blacked out, so I don't have that email anymore.
well, you have the email address, so why would that destroy
I
the
can't
email?
log in.
Oh.
It's giving me a second authentication and it's at home.
Got
My
it.
computer's at home. I'm so sorry.
No worries. And so you
It's
have,
frustrating. I'm not disputing, maybe some of the rent. I'm not disputing that. However, I am disputing the fact that I have been paying out of my rear in electricity bills. I have a cross connection that has been certified and inspected by the Board of Water and Light in the unit. It has been cross connected with the upstairs unit. I have gas and electric. She pays only electricity. I've been into the Board of Water and Light on numerous occasions. And unfortunately, because of the cross connection, I have been paying for her electric heat and everything upstairs, which I have an abundance. These are all of my bills. I have been shut off 12 times in the last 4 months.
okay, so you're saying that the way the electricity is set up, you're paying for the other unit's electricity?
Absolutely, and for everything, everything.
How long has there been a tenant in that unit?
The whole time I've been there.
Can you get her paperwork?
Here's the cross connection inspection for that unit. And then there's all my paperwork, all the payment.
So this, okay, let's see.
You see where it says cross connection inspection from 2022 at that address?
Before you.
It didn't appear on my account though, until just recently when I started inquiring about the issue. Since I've moved in and I have set this, and I emailed him on numerous occasions explaining the situation. Michigan Plumbing has also come in for this situation. They have told me that his basement pipes for the sewage, first and foremost, was so corroded, it was gonna cost $11,000 to get the sewage system fixed. He then retreated from Michigan Plumbing, fired them, didn't want to call them back, hired Mr. Reuter. That's when Mr. Reuter came in.
Who's
Then-
Trinity Heller?
That is my brother-in-law. He put it in his name. I have an outstanding bill. So I've been paying this bill this entire time. Board Water and Light I've definitely
You
been in
moved
there
in
since I've moved in. Yes,
and you got electricity under someone else's name.
yes, Your Honor. He did it for me. But I have all the information.
You're on the first floor?
Yes,
Okay, this says first floor, okay. And you're saying there's a second floor?
yes. There is a second floor with Brittany and her teenage daughter that live there and her boyfriend.
And how much is your Board of Water and Light bill monthly?
Anywhere from $400 to $1,000. $1,162 was my last bill that I had to pay.
Is that because you didn't pay it?
I had a $500 security deposit that was added, 668, excuse me, sir, Your Honor,
Is that
sorry. Because of being shut off, because of my bills being so high. I'm on Section 8, I have low income. I can't afford this. This is ridiculous amount of bills. And I mean, I can't even imagine anybody paying this. And I live in a two-bedroom apartment. And it's very small. It's 600-700 square feet. They were all in order, Your Honor. I do apologize, dating from 2023 all the way up. It might have been backwards though. And then on my phone.
Well, ma'am, give me an opportunity to review this. Okay, let's see. When did you move into this property? You told me it was May,
March.
so now it's March?
It could have been before.
Yeah,
that. I
your
don't
bill
know.
reflects it was March. What is this, a miscellaneous charge?
I don't, Board Water Lake puts that on there. I don't know.
Oh, that was when you had to pay the deposit.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry, I don't know what the miscellaneous charges
Yeah, that
are.
was a deposit of $496. Your bill is not high. Your bill seems pretty, how many people live in your unit?
Just two.
And the miscellaneous made that go up. Let's see, the reminder
Here's my
for
bill.
547 is past due on this account. If payment is already, that's about a past due amount. Let's see. Yeah, these are just showing me where you had past dues that was carried over, not your actual bill.
Here, Your Honor, I will give you the actual breakdown on the Board Water and Lake.
I can see the Board of Water and Light breakdown on these bills.
My last bill was $1,162.
Yeah, but when was the last time you paid it?
My bills all before that, Your Honor, were $1,504, $925, $588, $767, $916, $421, $1,004, $317, $1,462, $405, $353, $1,162, and then just recently, because I was shut off.
Man, that's because you're not paying them. I'm looking at, this is a December 13th, 2023 bill. It says total amount due in this bill, $925.14. However, it tells me that there was a previous balance forward. You never pay the full previous balance. Your electrical charges that month were only $58.98. Your water charges was only $29.25. Your sewer charges were only $34.34. And then your miscellaneous charges were $7.96. It said for that month, your total charges were only $130. You are carrying balances over from month to month.
So when I originally first moved in, Your Honor, they had stipulated that a $668 was added to my bill for a security deposit.
That has nothing to do
Right,
with
I
the
understand
landlord.
that, due to usage at that address, okay, which is okay. So that was carried over. My very first bill that I received with, it set me back. I'm on a fixed income, and it clearly shows that. I make $11,000 a year, okay?
Oh, ma'am, I'm not disputing that you had to pay a bill or put some money down as a deposit.
But
Because that's clear, but that has nothing to do with this landlord.
The cross connection issue inside that unit
That's
is
not what this is saying.
okay, well, online it definitely clearly shows that
You're
I'm
not,
paying for
I
her
can
upstairs.
guarantee you that this bill is not for your rent or your electricity for two people plus another. When your monthly bills are amounting to about $100 and some odd per month.
I've never had $100 and something, ever.
Board of Water and Light, yeah, this is, I'm looking at it right here. The amount that's being carried over is you didn't pay the deposit. And it says here, it says residential sewer service, basic deposit that needed to be paid. I don't know why they charge you deposit. Could be a number of reasons why they charge you deposit. It's also fraudulent that there's a Trinity Heller in here, on here, and Trinity Heller doesn't live in this property. Fraud.
Well, I wasn't told that it was fraud, I'm sorry.
You owe Board of Water and Light a bill, so
Not
you
anymore.
did, so you had someone else get service at the property when you live there, and this person lives there too, do they not? What's her name? What's her name? I say it so I can hear it.
My turn.
Yeah.
What's her last name?
When
And why is she not on the lease?
she is.
She is on the lease?
Yes.
She wasn't named in the eviction?
No,
Your Honor, she's not on the lease. It was just the The reason she was taken off of the lease because they didn't want her on a lease. So I gave her the second lease, and you will notice that her name shouldn't be on that lease.
No.
Show me where Section 8 has her on your lease.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
Can I add something else, Your Honor?
Give me a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
They have her on my voucher. Here, she had to sign everything, actually.
Ma'am, you have me up here, please. You live at 611 North Pine? What's your name? Okay, and you moved in originally when she moved in? Okay, are you employed? You're not employed either?
I mean, I just quit my job actually.
You just quit your job when?
Last week and last Sunday, actually.
So you were employed before then?
Yes. Part-time.
Part-time? Where?
S&B, painting services,
What were you doing there?
painting, residential and commercial houses.
You're painting?
Yes.
Oh, she's not on your Section 8 certificate, because your rent wouldn't be $44 a month.
She is, she just accumulated that job.
No, show me where she was on your Section 8
I will.
certificate.
She just accumulated the job and we haven't been on Section 8 since he got me kicked off.
He got you kicked off Section 8?
He made a complaint stipulating that,
So you're no longer on Section 8?
no, I've been taken off as of August 12th, and she accumulated the job after August 12th.
Okay.
So I do apologize. She accumulated the job at S&B Painting Services.
I didn't ask you a question about that. Yes, sir?
So the reason I reported that was because the Section 8 was trying to do an inspection. She wasn't there for the inspection, right? And she wasn't there for the inspection because she was in jail during that period of time, but they had scheduled the inspection and they was going to abate me based on that, right? Because they had got picked up for mollies and meth during that period of time. So then because of that inspection, and because of the documentation I had to give to Section 8, they were able to clear that abatement and not fail my inspection. So that's why I wasn't failed. And that letter that I sent you is like a snippet from Craig at Becca saying that, hey, Jerome, MSHDA has taken you off of the abatement list because you're not able to do the inspection because the tenant is not available at that time. And
yeah. Okay, I've heard enough. Do you have anything that shows me her name from Section 8?
Yeah.
Because I have what you gave me as your housing voucher program adjustment paperwork. It has your name only on there. Section 8 would have put her name on there if in 2023 if she lived there.
Yes, she does.
No, if she lawfully lives there.
Yeah, she lawfully lives there, Your Honor. I do apologize. Missed the paperwork that has her name on it as well. I left almost all that stuff at home. But I do have it. I was supposed to be represented by an attorney today, so I'm sorry. Legal aid had me represented by an attorney.
No, they would have filed an attorney, and their attorney was in here while you were in here. He did not file an appearance on your behalf.
Right, so I was supposed to be represented. You put me in a breakout room.
That doesn't mean that you're representing. That means that they're doing an intake.
I passed the intake.
Well, that you can't tell me you passed the intake. They will tell us if you passed the intake by filing an appearance. They did not file an appearance on your behalf.
It was in my CT email.
Okay, you don't have any paperwork?
No, I
because
do.
You just showed me something from 2023. Her name's not on there.
Hold on, I do. They don't have her on any of the
She should be on the
They
paperwork.
just have her on the original signing paperwork.
No, she's got to be on the paperwork saying that she's a tenant.
They do have her as a tenant, and he has it in the first lease as well.
I'm not talking about the lease. I'm talking about your Section 8 voucher.
Has you on here. don't know the password to CT win. Okay. So here is my mission paperwork that I just attached but respondent obtaining my train Cindy Wynn's iChat. The report showed that on August 12th, my train Wynn was arrested. Okay, so Mishta does have clarification that
No,
she was living in my unit, yes. I didn't bring all of my paperwork from that.
you see how that's grossly different from her being lawfully on your lease for Section 8? Because when you are on Section 8 and they're notified that there's 2 adults in the house, don't talk over me. Do not talk over me. Ma'am, I have a recording in here. You can't talk over me because when I talk and you talk, she can't hear, okay? Now, when you are on Section 8, you're supposed to report all the people that are adults or living in this unit. Because when you don't, you are stealing from the public because they have to report, a working adult has to report their income. And that's how Section 8 determines what your 30% for that rent is going to be. I only have information here that you provided that only show that you are the adult in this house. You've not provided me anything to show otherwise. Even the information that Mr. Rogers has provided only shows you, Tiffany Wynn, as the participant in the Michigan Housing Authority program. It says nothing about another person. Outside of that, this is an eviction for non-payment of rent. I've gone on long enough. You've not provided me any lawful reason whereby you did not pay your portion of the rent. The record said he has demonstrated that you have failed to pay your portion of the rent since making a payment back in March of 2023. You paid $205. He says your payment from Section 8 was only $44. We calculated that for 20 months to date, $880, plus a late fee for $50 per month, which is calculated at 20 months for $1,000. I'm going to also add his request for a code compliance citation of $215 for removal of debris that were held outside of the property, plus a Roto-Rooter request for $422.50. Because he's provided evidence of that. I can't give him anything else because he didn't request or provide evidence, that is, for anything else. The grand total that you need to pay within the next 10 days. $2,517.05. Were there filing fee that you pay, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was that?
I think it was.
And did you pay a service fee?
Yes, I did for the documentation and paperwork.
110 for the filing.
110 for filing.
$110. Yes.
How much was it? How did you serve her?
I served her through the mail, and I served her by a person, a carrier. So 2 people. The mail was from here, it was I think like $30, and the
okay. I don't see where you filed proof of service on here for that amount.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll credit you the 110 for the filing fee. You need to pay $2,627. No later than, what is today's date? The 13th. You need to pay it. The 23rd is 8. You're gonna pay it by the 25th. or vacate the property by that date, okay? Yes, can you speak up so I can hear you?
Can I ask why I'm responsible for the plumbing when there's 2 units in that building and there's only 1 sewer system in that building? And there's a teenage girl that lives up there. I don't flush sanitary. My mom would have looked at me growing up.
He testified that he didn't have a tenant up there at the
Yes,
time.
I didn't
Is
have a
that
tenant in there.
false?
She does.
When that-
She's been, Your Honor, and I can get proof.
Well, today was the day to provide the evidence.
I mean, I didn't know that this was going to be, he didn't tell me I was responsible for something like that. He never even gave me proof that there was even a bill for that, Your Honor. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, so I didn't know I needed to.
I asked him, was that the first time you heard of it? He
Yes,
said
this
no.
is. He said, yes,
No.
this is. He
Your-
corrected himself.
Your Honor, during the inspection, this was one of the things that she brought up during that inspection, that the plumbing needed to be done. So she knew of that plumbing prior to, right? So
I'm not disputing that plumbing needs to be done. I'm just, you provided evidence that she was flushing
Yes.
products
Right.
down and
Yes,
that
ma'am.
this was traced back to her unit.
Yes, exactly. It was.
And that because you didn't have another
I didn't
tenant.
have another tenant upstairs.
Was that Ruder receipt, Your Honor?
The Roto-Rooter receipt that he provided was from February of this year.
Yes, Your Honor, there was another unit,
There-
another tenant.
That one, on that one it was, but the one prior to it wasn't. Did I? Wrong.
Okay, so you did have a tenant in February 2024?
In February of 2024, yes. Prior to that, no.
And there's one plumbing system?
No, there's there's not just one plumbing system. There's a main pipe, but the portion that was blocked is the portion at the base, which is connected to her unit. It's not connected to the other unit.
Pictures, Your Honor,
The main plumbing section that she's talking about, I had to replace 2 toilets because of her. And what she wanted, they told me I had to have a back flush for that toilet because whatever she was putting down there wasn't providing pressure enough to push it all the way down that tube where she was at. And that's where it was getting stuck. So when Roto-Rooter came in and they had to go reverse up the pipe in order to release by her section is when that flow of sewage started to come down, which was not connected to the other side. Yes, there is a main pipe, but her section is the section that was plugging it all the way up from her part on down. And the other section, the top floor.
I'm looking at the Roto-Rooter receipt, and it doesn't indicate one way or the other that it came from this section. It says it's the main plumbing line that was plugged.
Yes, the main plumbing line on her on the ground level. So the top portion, that main plumbing line for the top portion was free to flow. There is nothing, if it had been plugged because of the way the piping is for that from that top section coming down, if it was going to be plugged, it would have been plugged above her unit because it's not big.
Are you the one who did the inspection on this?
I had
Sir?
Roto-Rooter do the inspection.
Okay.
I had
Do you have any skills or prior experience in plumbing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so
Okay.
then you're not actually at liberty to give testimony as it relates to that. And I'm going to actually take
Okay.
that off because I'm looking at this and I can't, I was originally operating off of your testimony, which was that you didn't have a tenant in there, but upon further clarification, you did have a tenant in February of 2024. So we'll take the 422 off. Yes, I never added the cleaning.
Oh, I thought $1,000 was added for cleaning.
No, that was late fees.
The sewage. Okay.
That was for 20 months of late fees.
On the cash app statement, doesn't it say for May's rent on the cash app statement that he provided you? Your Honor?
Give me just a minute.
I do apologize.
Okay, $2,095 plus $110 for a service is $2,205 that needs to be paid before the 25th of this month, where you need to vacate for that date. You asked about the Cash App statement.
Yes, that I provided that for May's rent, and he says that I haven't paid since March of 2023.
That statement, it says rent for May 2023, $205.
That's her history from my Cash App, ma'am. I copied her whole
Right, so
history.
she's paid since May 2023. You said March.
No, not since the Cash App right there is that's her history right there. That's it. It says March, right? Of 2023.
It says rent for May 2023, and she sent it to you in June 2023. So I imagine there's still a late fee, but it says May for May 2023.
She said, what did she send me again? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
$205.
Yes, if it's not struck out, she paid that.
I show that it was paid.
Yes.
And you said that her rent switched from 205 to 44.
Yes.
I've not been provided any evidence of exactly when that happened, so I've only been operated under. Look, someone's gonna cut me off. I'm done. Judgment for 205. Done.
$450 that I paid him in June of 2023. Right here is a receipt. I'm so sorry. I just found him on my Cash App, Your Honor.
That's the same thing that it says declined on?
No, it says went through. Payment sent. Correct.
What?
Right here. $450 payment sent successfully.
Which date?
It was on June 26th of 2023 at 12:20 p.m.
Do you have a receipt for June 26th on your Cash App? Because I don't see anything from June 26th.
No, I don't have anything for that. If I had, I would definitely have provided it for it, ma'am.
Let me see. It's gonna go out.
Oh, sorry.
This is from July 2023, not June.
Well, it says for June though, Your Honor. I'm sorry. In the notes.
Why are you paying $450?
Well, because I owed for.
How much was your rent?
I mean, at that time.
Because you sat up here and told me that your rent was not more than $44, but you're paying $205 and then you're paying $450. I was inclined to believe what he said was that your rent was more than $44.
In the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. He's not been able to provide me anything that shows me where it was $44. He's only or where it went down to $44. I took that amount because that was where I saw the more recent payments. Your rent was more than $400 or $44.
It was $205, Your Honor, in the beginning, only up until June of 2023, which I showed you the $44 statement of June of 2023. So
your June of 2023, you paid $205.
No, the statement that I sent you with the $44 that it went down to.
June 3rd, you paid $205, but that was for May rent. Now you're showing me July. You paid $450.
I paid $450 because I owed for June, and then.
So that means your rent was not. It was still $205.
I have paperwork right here that stipulates it went down in June of 2023.
Show me.
I just just a little bit ago.
If it went down, why are you paying July $200 and something for July?
I was just trying to make sure that I stayed above.
Oh, okay.
Because I
show me proof.
A little bit of money. Right here. It went down February.
I can read. You can pass it to me.
Oh no, it went amounts were identified in the beginning of October of 2023. Do apologize. Well, I made a mistake.
Your went down in October of 2023.
I'm sorry.
So you owe 205.
It was $53 too at one point.
No, it's gonna be 205 because that's the records that I see that you were paying 205. You shared that. You did that. 205, you owe 205. The record she shows me was that she sent you a payment in July for June and July of 2023. So she must have been trying to pay her past due rent because I'm seeing that she's paying it late every month. So you're still gonna get assessed a late fee for those months. No, we're done. You're still gonna get assessed a late fee and your rent was 205 based on what you showed me that you were paying. Quiet. So August of 2023, you owe 205. September, you owe 205. You owe a late fee of $50 for May and June and July. And then from October on, it's $44.
In February of 2024.
Ma'am, you speak out one more time right now when I have not offered you the opportunity to do so to distract me, then I'm going to go with the number that I have. You messaged me? I did the calculations, you owe $2 extra. Okay, that's what you happen to pay $205 for August 2023 and September until your rent was changed in October to $44. You have late fees for May, June, July, all the way through current, even though you paid those rents via cash app receipt that you showed, you paid them late. Plus the $110 filing fee, $215 co-compliance trash removal fee. And so that's for a total of $2,207, which before was $2,205. You'll pay that and or vacate by the 25th. Any additional matters for today's record? Sir?
No, ma'am.
If she pays that, she gets to stay in the property. She has to pay it before that date. If she does not pay it before that date, then you can seek writ or judgment to enter or writ to go execute the judgment that is out of the property, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll get you a copy of your paperwork in just a moment. You can step outside or you're welcome. Mr. Dua, you have one person.
Yes.
So Mr. Dawson?
It is, sure.
Okay, Baltic Flats versus Clayton Dawson, 24-06168, council appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sam Dua here on behalf of plaintiff.
Sir, state your name for the record, please.
Clayton Dawson.
Okay, today was the date and the time that was set for a hearing. This is for non-payment of rent. How are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've had an opportunity to meet with the defendant, and we've come to a proposed conditional dismissal for your review signed by both parties. The terms are to a rent due through December 31st, 2024, $2,065.73. Cost $179.05. Total 2D, $2,244.78. Box 3 is marked further conditions. Defendant to pay a minimum of $800 by 11/22/24, and the balance of 2D by 12/22/24 or vacate. Box 4B is checked, box 7 is checked, and again, it is signed by both parties. May I approach?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's how you want to proceed, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so you want the matter to be dismissed today upon the condition that you're going to pay past due rent, $2,065.73. That's the rent due December?
Correct, Your Honor. We had a December to make the payment plan work.
What's the past due now?
$1,165.73. We've been doing quite a few of these in various different courtrooms.
I could care less what's going on in various different courtrooms. I'm not giving an eviction for something that hasn't even came yet.
Correct. That's, I absolutely understand your position, Your Honor. But the defendant only has the ability to pay that $800 by the 22nd. And rather than forcing a judgment upon him, because there would still be a balance due, because the balance due is $1,165.73 plus the court costs.
Okay, this past due rent is how much?
$1,165.73 plus $179.05 in costs. Total $1,344.78.
Okay, so I'm not trying to understand why would the conditional dismissal not have the past due amount for rent due through the end of this month, because that's the month we're in, and not next month. And then in the further conditions, you put defendant to pay whatever he's paying and that he's still responsible for the rent that's to accrue.
I'd be happy to amend it that way if it pleases the court. We just,
I need a judgment for that last case. Excuse me.
Per your request, Your Honor, 2A has been changed to $1,165.73. The same costs in 2B, 2D total $1,344.78 for rent due through November 30th, 2024. 3 now says defendant to pay a minimum of $800 by 11/22/24 and the balance of all rent, including December 2024 by 12/22/24 or vacate.
Okay, that's how you want to proceed, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, so the past due rent is $1,165.73 plus court costs of $179.05 for a total past due $1,344.78. That's for rent due to the end of this month. You're going to pay a minimum of $800 by the 22nd and the balance of any rent owed or approved by the 22nd, or you'll vacate. It says all rent including December 2024 rent. Is that what that asterisk is for?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And his rent is due when?
First
First of the month. Okay, so you'll pay all rent, including your December rent, by December 22nd of this year, correct?
Yep.
Okay. You understand that you have the right to be represented by an attorney today?
Yeah.
You want to waive that right?
Yeah.
You have the right to proceed to trial. You could have demanded a jury trial. Do you want to waive that right?
Wait.
Okay, anybody forcing or threatening you to do that?
Nope.
You have 3 business days from today's date. If once you leave here, you realize you misunderstood the rights that you just gave up, you can request to have that set aside and we will set it for a hearing. Okay, sir?
All right.
Any questions for the court?
Nope, no.
Okay, we'll get you a copy of your paperwork. You're all set. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your patience, Mr. Dewar.
Take care.
You're all set.
Well deserved. Right.
Mr. Rogers, you're all set. The paperwork will be executed and a copy will be mailed to you.
That's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.